Welcome to Practical Business Technology, where we keep you in the know about technology's impact on business. Today's show is sponsored by the Maricopa County Bar Association, and our host is Dave Kinsey, author and owner of Total Networks. Hi, I'm Stephanie.
And I'm Dave.
And today we're going to talk about voice over IP phones.
Yeah, I think the idea here is that businesses change. This is in a post-pandemic world or semi-post.
I think it's still pandemic.
Is Omicron? Yeah, we're still in the pandemic. I don't know.
Well, I think that the message is that it's the new normal.
Yeah,
people are working from wherever. There's hybrid workforce.
That's the point. Yeah, I mean,
and so you need to have a phone system that is caught up with the times.
Yeah, I mean, the way I look at this is business changed. Business, people were always doing stuff everywhere, but it just sort of accelerated the concept of everybody truly working everywhere on steroids, so to speak. The business has changed and continues to change. Are you still using the same old phone system that you were 10 years ago? You still, the chances are you may very well be using the phone system that you were using before the pandemic. I mean, I don't know.
And if you are, how did that work for you?
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah.
So for us, we use a phone system that has, it's so awesome on your cell phone. It's got an app on your cell phone. You don't even need anything besides your cell phone.
Yeah, and we have a lot of clients. So we've
standardized to make
standardized
business calls.
Yeah, I mean, we've standardized on this. We were using this internally, and then we offered this to our clients, and we've had tremendous adoption from our clients. And the thing that we love about it, and our clients love about it, is the flexibility. And when we're selling new phone systems or we're getting people on this, there's a very serious discussion of, okay, how do people want to work? Is it even worthwhile getting the, plastic phone device on people's desk? Because they may be anywhere and they may always work off their cell phone or always work off their PC. In which case, so like for me, I use all three. Maybe I'm a little weird. I tend to use more often the plastic phone on my desk when I'm there, and I use the mobile phone app when I'm home. I know some people that use only the they have a laptop and that's all they use is the app on their laptop. So having that flexibility, I think, is key.
Right. So I guess maybe we should just back up a little bit. What is voice over IP?
Well, voice over IP, IP is internets, right? It's the IP stands for Internet Protocol. So it's the internet. And
so we're making phone calls using the internet.
Yeah, well, everything is doing voice over the internet, right? So like if you do the Zoom call to your grandmother and whatnot, you're using video over IP, but also voice and all that. So, but there are a lot of people that have the old style phone system. Maybe it's VoIP, maybe it's not. Maybe it's really old style VoIP where it's like it works like in their office or maybe when they take it home. We've definitely found that people are rethinking the way that they're doing, the way that they've done everything. And the phone system is something that where people have gotten some wins, basically figuring out and making things more efficient that way. If they're even using phones, right? Because people are using Teams and other things like that to communicate. But there's still the need for business phones.
There's still something that I think is nice to talk on the phone with a person.
Yeah, there's sometimes when that's just like kind of what you need to do, right? It seems weird nowadays when I use my phone, but when I need to, I can. So, but like if I'm meeting with somebody and it's an electronic meeting, I'm setting it up as a Teams meeting. Some people do Zoom, whatever, but Teams, I think just makes the most sense for an awful lot of people. And then every now and then people will actually use the phone to call in. And one thing actually that's nice about that is Microsoft used to have to, this is changing, but as of March 1st, everybody that uses Microsoft Teams can call in, kind of like you can on Zoom, whether you're on the paid or unpaid, version or whatnot. If you're using Teams, you get that phone number. So whereas you had to pay for it separately.
Historically, you had to pay extra for that.
Yeah, which we were one of the, we were doing that for, for some people, but now it's nice that you have that option. Because some people may not have a good microphone on their PC, or may not have one at all for whatever reason, or may not want to do that in the office because they're around other people or something, and it's easier to just pick up the phone for the audio. I don't know. There's a lot of reasons. And you can, if your needs are really crazy light, some people can kind of get away with even using Microsoft Teams as a phone system. But most people won't be able to do that for it's not really a phone system. It's a little lacking in some features. So that's where something like 3CX, which is what
so for us, we use 3CX. So just kind of to describe how I like to work, when I'm in the office, I've got a regular plastic phone on my desk that I use. But I can't answer the phone on my cell phone. And so it'll ring at my desk phone and on my cell phone simultaneously.
Yep.
You can configure how your preferences are.
Yep.
The thing that I really like that we didn't used to have in our old phone system is now when I get a phone call on my cell phone, say I'm not at the office, I can tell right away whether it's a business call or a personal call, because I will be able to see, oh, it's a 3CX call, I know that's a business call, versus if it's just ringing to my cell phone, I know it's not a business call. And our old phone system, you could have it forward to your cell phone, but you didn't know when it was forwarding a business call versus a personal. And I kind of like to know how to answer the phone, if I want to answer it as Total Networks.
I think it's very common for like the older style stuff. It's like, oh, well, it's all integrated with the cell phone. Well, because it's like forwarding the calls. But that's really not, it's kind of weak integration. Yeah, it works. But that's what I really love about it is you have a full featured phone system. Like you have all the presence management stuff where you can see who's on the phone with who. You can do your conference calls super easy. You can you can see who's on there. You're calling from your business phone number. Because,
right. So when you make an outbound call, you can use that app and then it appears just like you're at the office.
Yeah, I think it's just better, somewhat more professional, though people use cell phones to do business. But I think it's more consistent. It makes it more your business presence and business phone number and all that. And, and frankly, we found that in a lot of cases, it's also cheaper than what people were doing. So, because it's especially if you don't have to even have the plastic phones and whatnot, that saves some expense there. But even if you need the plastic phones, they're fairly inexpensive, very high quality that you can get there. So, but yeah, it's been surprising just how many people we've when we talk with them about this. Of like, we really haven't changed our phone system for 10 years, or even 5 years. And just think of how business changed over the past 2 years.
Actually, we're going on 3.
Going 3 years? Jeez Louise. All right. Well,
right.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Well,
I guess it's the 3rd year is starting.
Yeah. See that? Yeah. And this is why I'm like, I'm done. Like pandemic wise, I got the Omicron. I'm vaccinated and boosted, and I got the darn Omicron. And it's like, what are you going to do?
Well, we're going to use our voice over IP phones, and we're going to work from home, and I'm
not going to infect people. It's true.
And it's seamless.
I isolated and all that stuff. So yeah. Yeah. And it's true. That's one thing that's nice when you have a really good phone setup, it is seamless. Yeah. And like some people, all they use is their mobile phone, and it's the same thing that when they're in the office and home, because that's their personal preference. That's the nice thing about having, you can basically do it your way.
Well, and for Total Networks, we have techs that are on the phone all day long.
Oh, yeah.
And when they had to work from home at the beginning of the pandemic, we didn't miss a beat. They used their cell phones, or they took a phone home, and we were able to work.
Or they just used their computer client. Or just used
the soft phone on their computer, and it worked great. So, I guess I would just, as a lot of people have talked about things like Microsoft Teams or video calls or maybe cloud file sharing or other ways that you can work from anywhere. Just don't forget your phone system.
Yeah. Don't get me, you get me started on Teams and I'm going to go, wow, we spend all sorts of time redoing work processes and workflow using Microsoft Teams. And it's just getting better and better. It's awesome. But yeah, I agree. And I mean, the one thing I do want to be clear is technically you could kind of almost use it as a phone system. But it's limited. That's why I don't think
that we're sitting here saying buy this particular brand, although we do sell a version that we think is great, but just be thinking about, is there anything in your business that is easier to do from home, easier to do from the office than it is from home? And if phones comes up on that list, don't think that has to be.
If phone comes up on the list, you got a problem.
Because
it shouldn't.
Nowadays, it really shouldn't be that different wherever you're working.
You shouldn't notice any difference. It should be completely seamless. If there are seams, that would be the opposite of seamless, right? So if there are seams in how you do your business that you see where at home is even remotely less functional from a phone standpoint, fix that. There's just no reason for that. You should fix it because it should be identical. You should not notice that. So yeah.
Any last thoughts, Dave? What about things like fax?
Oh yeah.
Does anyone use fax anymore?
There still are some people that use fax. I'm not one of those people. I don't quite get it. So, but yeah, I mean, and if you are using fax, there are all sorts of good electronic ways to make fax work, and make that.
It's really just over the internet.
Well, everything is. So
it's not like there's a machine that's cranking out papers anymore, right?
Yeah, nobody.
So.
Well, I just, in principle, I don't know why anybody would be using fax for anything nowadays. I know still some people are hung up on that.
So maybe we could have a whole nother podcast about that.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we need to bring in a psychiatrist for that to help. I think it's a problem if you're still using fax. There's something mentally, I don't think quite right. But that's just my opinion. So anyway.
All right, Dave. So thank you. And if you've got any questions about your phone system, give us a call.
Or anything else technology.